Okay, so when the deployment is done, you'll get those notifications say deployment succeeded. Now let's go to the resource that we just deployed. Okay, so this is the resource that we deployed. Essentially, it's an Azure web app that exposes a container that we have in the Azure container registry. So let's just look around a bit down here. I just want us to come to the container settings here. Then we look at the container settings. If you look at it, there's the container registry, and then this is the registry, Jumpstart Jakarta EE, the image, and then the tag. Now we come here, continuous deployment. You can choose to click OK like this, and then this is just the log from the deployment for your container. Let me just hit save. Now we come to application settings here. Cancel. Okay, so let me come to application settings here. So always on, you can choose to set this to on or off depending on the state of your application. Always on is essentially keeping Azure will keep your container, your web app running all the time. Indicates that your web app needs to be loaded at all times. By default, web apps are unloaded after they have been idle. So you want to keep this off. HTTP version, you might want to leave this. Then affinity cookie, you can improve the performance of your stateless applications. You can just leave this on or off. Most of the time, the default should just work fine. And then there's the FTP. We don't need FTP. We can just disable this. And then we come down. You can pass in here. You can pass some key string value pairs to the container, the application as well. So this is just for the application settings. Let me just hit save here. Now you can also come here. You can see there is the SSL. Let me see the SSL settings. There is something we need to enable here. Okay, so HTTPS only, we want to choose this. So our application will be accessed only via HTTPS. So if you check the documentation, it says enable this feature to redirect all HTTP traffic to HTTPS. You want to actually have this on. Now, it really beats my mind why this is not flipped on by default, but you just need to click it on. Yeah, click it to put it on. And then that's just about it with this section, this particular part here. So that's it. You can take it for a spin. There's a number of options here you can set for your application, your Azure web app. Okay, so that's just about it. You can see there are other options here. There's Docker Compose, which is in preview. There's Kubernetes, which is also in preview. Now let's come to the overview here. So this is the URL to our application. Now let's take this particular URL and then, or let's just hit click, open it in a new browser, and then check it out. If everything is working, if all is working, you should get a response from the application. So you can see that once it's deployed, we are getting the default Pyara error page, says nothing is set up to handle this request. Now let's come here. In fact, let's look at the name of our application. Let's just come to the pum.xml file here and then copy it. It's this one, Jakarta EE Jumpstart. This one. Let's copy this and then come and paste this here. Then let's hit this and see. So this is our application running in Docker, in a Docker container, deployed to Azure Container Registry, and then exposed as a web application through Azure Web App for containers. So this is it. Now if I come here, say /API/version1/user/list. I know this is a protected resource. Let me hit enter, and then I should get error, no valid string token found. So our application is working successfully. Deployment has succeeded. Now let's go into our Insomnia client and then make requests to our application and see what happens.